again. Number 2.
Last podcast was a smashing success. Isn't that right, Zach? How many views did we get in the last podcast?
We had, drum roll please, 18. That's 18 more than I thought.
That's incredible. And we have lovely, who's this right here, Lauren?
Well, you just introduced me.
Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
What's up, guys? My name's Lauren, and I do the marketing for these two knuckleheads up here.
It's 2026, new year, new us. What's going on, Zach? You know, we've got a lot in store. We're launching something huge coming this week. It will be live by the time you're watching this episode. What have we been working on for the last several months now, Zach?
We're working on promotions for our users. What does this mean? You can get paid for using the platform, doing transactions, win your money back, so to speak.
Yes, this is big. This is really big. So, I mean, how long has been in the work? Well, actually, let's describe a little bit what it is, right? So, the first promotion that we're going to be launching is basically where you sign up, create a new account, new users, and after you activate your account, you trade $10,000 of crypto, move money on and off chain, right? And we'll pay you $50 in USDC. So that's the first promotion. What is the second promotion, Zach?
Second promotion is a referral program. So you love Adesic, you love moving money on and off chain, in and out of your bank account into crypto. You can refer someone, and once they move $10,000, you both get $50.
Exactly.
Dual-sided referral program, and so we think that that'll be very strong for growth, incentivizing referrals.
Sounds like a deal to me.
Yeah, and this has been in the works for a while now. Zach, do you want to talk a little bit about the infrastructure that you had to build out from the technical perspective of to get this to work? We were teasing around this idea for, it's been several months, but to actually get everything to production stage, it took a lot of work, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of we had tech debt on the data, the schema, if you would. Our relational database on the back end had to be refactored a little bit, and then we had to figure out how to ingest codes and process them. And we were able.
What do you mean by codes?
Sure, referral codes, if you would. So everyone gets a referral code. We're able to track where. So if users click Google's Adesic.com, they click our site, then their referral code will be Google, and so we're getting analytics tracking and we're getting referral tracking on the back end. So does that make sense?
Yeah, and then it could go into a little bit more detail on how it's all tied together now, and what actually took place to. I don't know. A lot of this has been months.
Yeah,
right? So a lot went into this.
Yeah, so yeah, none of this stuff seems interesting to me. So prod as much as you want. But I don't mean it's not interesting, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of nose blind to it. Sure. So yeah. So the events happen when transactions are fulfilled. So that's kind of like an event is triggered, which will then go and kick off a process that will go and check does the user have referrals, what referrals are they, what promotions are they, and it go basically a big checklist in the back to then go and kick a payout off or update a promotion. We're able to get all this done with minimum infrastructure with our current minimum infrastructure additions to what we currently have, which has been awesome. So we got kind of we got the most bang for our buck, if you would.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And what I'm excited about this too is because now we can actually start developing and putting out more promotions. So in the future from us, you could see things like giveaways, and we could track all of this programmatically now that we have the infrastructure to do. So something give away a Bitcoin or give away a vehicle or something like this. I'm not saying we're doing any of this, of course, but we have the infrastructure to actually be able to go out and roll out some of these promotions. So this is a big deal.
That was also the big part of it too, is making a generic promotion. Because starting off, we want to do one promotion, we want to do a dual side referral, and then extrapolating a little bigger. What if we want to do another type of promotion? Then there would be more work to do that. So it's just this giant, not even giant, just this minimal generic promotion that is is run by transaction events, if you would.
There are a series of related events
series of
from
related
KYC to I don't know, specific things the user needs to do. Yeah. So big deal. That's the big thing we're launching this month in January. We got some more stuff cooking up to here too. Another big thing too that we haven't talked about much is our affiliate program. So for our business customers and business users, we have this feature that I mean, this has been live for a little while, right, Zach? I mean, it's been like several months, which is we've created the feature to create sub accounts. So if you're a business and you have, I don't know, customers that you want to move money on behalf of, or, employees or something like this, or third parties or whatever it is, you can create a sub account and manage and orchestrate the flow of funds on behalf of that user. So we built out kind of like an internal dashboard interface within our website for business users to be able to orchestrate these flows, do pay-ins, payouts, manage stablecoin inflows, outflows, things like this.
There's also the capacity for an API integration on this too, right? Because if you don't know, the Adesic platform is API first. So just about anything you can do on the website, you could also do programmatically if you wanted to, which is awesome. I think APIs are the future. Well, the future is already here, but yeah, there's just so much more granular control that people can do if they would like. And the APIs are battle tested because our site is just built on top of them. So
yeah, all of our infrastructure is built on top of the APIs.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to also build community as well, because obviously we want everyone to come on and use Adesic, but also it's just a great way to kind of just form a community and see what's going on and just form one big Adesic family.
Yes, it's very strong for the dev community too, because we have API docs that document everything, and it's there. So
yeah, it's all about family, right? Isn't that what Vin Diesel says? So
what did you say that in what's that? What
Fast and Furious? Come on,
Fast
guys.
and Furious. Yeah.
Someone watching this better understand the Vin Diesel family meme.
I kind of want to know though, like, whoever, for those of you that are watching this though, like who has been here like since the beginning, like since the Abyss days? I kind of want to know. So leave a comment and tell us how long you've been with us.
The Abyss days were only like 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
That's true.
That's about right. So another big question that we get quite frequently is the prerequisites and like what are the requirements to create an account, get started, KYC, KYB, compliance requirements, and stuff like this, like onboarding, right? How to actually activate your account. So that's one of the next topics that we were hoping to discuss. Zach, do you want to kick us off kind of on this question? Like what do I need to create an account?
Sure. So the first question that we need to ask is, who are you, right? Are you an individual? Are you a business? Or are you a financial institution? These are 3 different entities with 3 different requirements. So first is the individual. You go through our KYC form on our website. So you're an individual, you're new to Adesic, you go to adesic.com, you sign in with Google or GitHub OAuth, and then you'll see the home dashboard. And then from there, you need to onboard onto the account. So there's a button that says onboard, and you get taken into our onboarding flow. The first part is KYC. So you go through our KYC forms. Usually people from America is who we serve. That's our bread and butter. There are other countries with some exceptions, but most of our users are in America. And then from there, you link your wallet, your self-custody wallet, and your bank account. And then from there, KYC is approved, everything checks out, you're good. Those are the requirements. Once your KYC is approved, you are also auto enrolled in our first win your money back offers. That is, move your first $10,000 in 30 days, get $50.
Absolutely. One way that I like to answer this question is we require basically the same information that a bank requires when opening up a bank account, either for yourself as an individual or for a business. So we collect that same type of information, and this includes, like your name, your address, a facial scan, a copy of your ID. For if you're a business, this would include like your EIN. We also do require social security numbers too. Um, and then on the business front, it would be kind of like the beneficiary owners, details about your business, articles of organization, a copy of your EIN letter, different documents like this. We have it written out in a little bit more detail, actually, on our within our documentation on the specific KYC, KYB requirements that we have in place. We also do collect information too on the beneficiary owners if you are a business. So these are like the primary people that own and control the business. So yeah, I would say overall, the high level, it's the same type of information required when opening up a business bank account or even like a bank account for an individual.
The reason for all this information or collecting information similar to a bank is because we are regulated like a bank because we work with banks. That makes sense.
Yeah, we are under the Bank Secrecy Act, and that is kind of, I don't know, that is like the high level umbrella that we fall under and we're regulated under.
So I guess one question that I get a lot with people in regards to Adesic is like, how do you onboard? So like, Zach, do you actually want to share your screen and show us like what the actual onboarding looks like?
Sure. Just give me a second here.
And in the meantime, while Zach does that, Drew, do you want to kind of describe what makes Adesic different from other exchanges as far as like KYC and KYB goes?
We're pretty similar on the KYC, KYB front. We basically collect the same information that other exchanges collect. Whether you're working with like a stockbroker like Robinhood or you're opening an account with Coinbase, we collect pretty much the same information.
All right, so I just shared my screen, and on the screen in particular, I've just signed in with a new Google account, and you can see this is the dashboard that we display currently. Should be updated sometime this year. But you can see once you sign in, you can interact with everything. You want to see like what the default quotes are for moving $1,000. You can do that.
This is a new user account as well.
This is a new user account, yes. So, but this is the main call to action button, which is the activate now. So this kind of goes with what I was talking about earlier, right? So who am I? Am I an individual? Am I a business? For the sake of this, let's say I am an individual. And we're going to start the KYC process. So like I said, we support mostly users in the United States. And we have a form that starts the KYC. So this KYC form, I'm not going to go through it now, but it collects basically information that would be required when creating a bank account. And there is also mobile phone verification as well.
And it takes about, say, 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah, 3 to 9 for individuals. It can take a little bit longer for businesses when piecing all the documents together, but
so it's relatively quick then.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, and we if there are any issues, your account will be approved in a minute or so after submitting all the information.
That's awesome in comparison to other platforms. Definitely takes a lot longer than that. That's great.
Yep. Here's the form for connecting your bank. Just enter your bank details, beneficiary information, and you connect your wallet. ZachRobert.Sol, autofill the blockchain or the matching chains. And then once you'd add everything, you'd submit, and then you're verified. That's it. You'll be enrolled into the promotion that we have going on, and you can transact. That's it. Quick and easy.
Yeah. Should be able to get up and running in less than an hour, I would say, in most cases. And execute your first transfer. And then we can settle it an hour later, more or less. So 1 to 2 hours.
Nice. Okay, so I guess let's just answer the question that I'm always asked, and I know you guys are always asked, why Adesic in general versus other exchanges? So I know I just asked you about the KYC, KYB, but just on a high level way of viewing this, like why Adesic versus like why wouldn't I use Coinbase or why wouldn't I use any other platform?
It's a good question. It's definitely one of the most popular questions that we get. The approach that we've taken so far has been to focus on kind of what the core customer needs are. So in this case, it'd be like supporting the most cryptocurrency assets. So when trading or executing transactions, we support a lot of cryptocurrencies. More blockchains in some cases than Coinbase, more cryptocurrencies. If you're using our OTC desk, we can even source exotic tokens for you, and it's all when you need support or like you're using our OTC desk or something like this, you're working directly with us. So there's that one-on-one customer support. And one of the most important things for our customers too is the fees. So in most cases, I would say, depending on the asset and the token, we can provide really tight spreads and really low reduced fees. Zach, what do you think? What else do you have there?
I really like our non-custodial approach, and I hear
That's
people
big too.
that like this a lot. So what does that mean? What is a non-custodial approach? So what that means is, you ever hear "not your keys, not your crypto"? You ever hear that, Lauren? Yeah.
I was literally just thinking that.
Yeah.
Not your keys, not your crypto.
It boils down to that, right? So, so when dealing with crypto, our users have their own wallets, self-custody wallets. What's that? Like a Phantom wallet, MetaMask. We don't have like wallets that hold crypto on behalf of our users. That's not what we do.
We don't take custody of the money. We just transmit it. Yeah.
Correct.
And that allows for the transactions to be executed quicker in most cases, right? So say for example, in the majority, we lost Zach there. I'll keep going though. So say for the example, like your company or you as an individual has a lot of money on chain, and you need to pay your bills. I don't know, to eat or something, right? Pay your rent, if you're a company, pay your cloud service bill for AWS or something like this. You can use our off ramp to get your money converted directly into dollars in your bank account in the same business day in most cases. So this allows for fast transactions, fast conversions. You maintain the custody of your funds at all times except during transmission, and we have some really tight spreads and low fees across the board.
I like that. I feel like in general, like as a small business owner, if I were to pay my employees in USDC or in crypto in general, like I would feel a lot better having custody over my own assets.
It varies on the type of person, I would say, for sure. But I mean,
yeah,
primarily the customers that we work with, they want control of their funds. They and us too. Like, right, I don't want to keep a large chunk of money in Coinbase.
Definitely.
There's another thing too, regarding people who are paying other people in crypto, is that when you have accounts on Gemini, Kraken, Coinbase, and you move money off of that, move crypto off of that platform, they generally want it to be only to your crypto wallet, right? So they're not really enforcing that yet, but third-party payouts to other people that is not your accounts, that won't fly.
And that's what we're made for too,
Yep.
doing payouts to third-party companies. Like say you don't have a wallet, but you need to pay someone USDC somewhere in, I don't know, Europe or Africa or Asia or something like this. You just would wire us the stablecoins. We fire the stablecoins off to the customer's wallet. It's possible as well.
Okay, got you. Well, I guess that kind of leads me down to this question then. So like, how would you pay a contractor in USDC or USDT? Like, what are the steps for that?
Yeah, well, Zach just showed how to activate your account. After your account's activated, I don't know, you could even go through the trade widget maybe and show what that current flow looks like. I think that would be good.
All right, so here we are. This account, again, isn't activated, but for demonstration purposes, anyone can see this. So there's a couple of ways to get to the trade widget. The trade widget is by default on the home page. There's also a little button up here on the top left. But people have also asked for like a move money button just to make it obvious. So we added that up here. They all lead to the same place. So in order to pay someone in USDC or USDT, most of our users need to acquire that first. So they would need to buy crypto. So this is just the trade widget, but buy is selected. And
before this, though, you got to make sure your wallet is connected.
Yes, that is true.
And the bank account.
So
run into
let me
some
just
errors.
go.
And we do have videos about that, on how to do that. It's on our YouTube.
Very simple. I think it's pretty intuitive, right? You just give us the wallet address, the blockchain, and then, the account information for the bank that you're doing the pay in and payout from.
Oh yeah. If I can do it, you guys can do it. It's so simple.
Correct. So a user that has their bank account and their wallet activated would be able to select them from in here. This account doesn't have that, but we can then go and confirm the trade, and it'll give you some bank details to send a wire to.
Yes. And then after you send that wire off to us, we'll handle everything in the background and then fire off in this case, the USDC directly into the wallet that you have on file with us. And then from there, if you control the wallet, you can pay the customer directly with USDC. Or if it's the customer's wallet or your contractor's wallet, then, the money goes right into their wallet and it's all set from there.
So it seems like it's fairly simple actually to pay a vendor in crypto. I feel like anytime I talk to anybody about it, they always kind of make a big deal out of it, and they make it sound like it's this really hard, crazy, long process to do, when in actuality, with Adesic at least, it's not. So
yeah, we try to make it as easy as possible. Just the core actions the customer needs to take to execute the transaction.
Nice.
If you have the wallet address, it's pretty much the only piece of information you need from the actual contractor, along with the blockchain.
Okay, well, let's move on to what I feel like is Drew's favorite topic, because I feel like we talk about this every week. So OTC desks. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, this has been big in the last, all right, I'll talk a little bit about this. So we launched this in like the last 2 months, and this has taken off surprisingly pretty well, right, Zach? I mean, based off of the month of December, this has been pretty popular amongst our customers. What OTC stands for over-the-counter trading desk, and basically the way this works is you'd contact myself, you'd contact Zach, you contact someone directly from our team, and we will. It's kind of like a one-on-one white glove experience where you work directly with us to execute the transactions. This is primarily for, I guess you could say, customers that are executing transactions greater than, say, $10,000, greater than 25K, something like this.
Big money.
Yeah. So either for like, high net worth individuals or, like say small to medium sized businesses that need to acquire large amounts of stablecoins or crypto or whatever asset that they're looking for. And they want that kind of one-on-one touch with, and they're also very, I guess you could describe them as like fee sensitive as well. So they want something with tight spreads, and that's kind of where it comes into play. So the way our OTC desk works is you go through the process of activating your account, linking your wallet to your bank account. So we need all of that information on file to execute the transactions. And then we would create a Telegram chat to communicate directly with our team, and you request a quote from us for the assets you want to buy. So what's great about our OTC desk is if you want to buy assets that are not natively supported from our platform or website, you can do that, and we can try to pull a quote for you. So for example, if you wanted to buy some crazy asset off of, I don't know, like a decentralized exchange, like 123 pump token or something like this, I don't know, you can come up with whatever the name, you could do that. You want to buy large amounts of Bitcoin, you could do that as well, and request a quote for that. And then from that, we'll come back with you and we'll tell you, okay, we can execute the transaction at this price, at this token price, and we give you an all-in exclusive rate. There's no fee involved there at all. And then if you agree to the price, you send the wire, and we execute the transaction and settle it directly to your wallet that we have on file. And this has been pretty big so far for a lot of our customers. What else, Zach?
December was a big month. That's all we can say.
So it's been very popular, and I have a feeling it's going to continue to increase in popularity as well. And I don't know, we're excited about this feature.
I feel like that's just been the topic of interest between Drew and I when it comes to the marketing side. And yes, so that's why I say it is Drew's favorite subject, because I feel like we talk about it 80% of the time.
Well, yeah, it's important.
Of course. Okay, what are the biggest myths about using crypto for everyday business payments? So every time, I'm talking to, whenever we go to conventions and stuff together as a team, I'm talking to, all these different founders, and, I mentioned like, have you considered paying your team in crypto? And it's a 50-50. Like half of the time, like people are like, oh yes, I would love to do that. Or founders, they're like, I'd love to do that like eventually, or how do I get started? And then that's whenever I'd introduce them to you guys. But then I have the other side where they kind of hesitate a little bit just because, again, they kind of have this notion that it's a really long process. It's hard. It's not easily attainable to do. So if whoever wants to answer this question.
Do you want to take a stab at it, Zach? Or you want me to go first?
Sure. I'll take biggest myths. I can tell you the pain points of the other side is ACH transaction. So settlement times, right? So crypto has very fast settlement times versus like traditional ACH is like 3 to 5 business days. So when I get paid, if I get paid via ACH, I'm waiting, 3 to 5 days for money to hit my bank. Where if I were to get paid with USDC, it settles on chain within minutes, sometimes seconds, depending on the chain.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, the biggest myth that I think I've encountered is where people are just kind of maybe the word ignorant, and they just think that crypto is a scam. Like I've encountered a lot of people that just think, okay, stablecoins aren't real. It's fake
I get
money.
that a lot
It's
too.
not real. And like to tell those people, like I don't know. First of all, it is real. It exists. It's faster. It's cheaper. It's more efficient in many cases compared to the dollar. When it actually comes down to like the reality of using crypto for everyday business payments, I mean it varies depending on the asset. I would say, like for example, if you're going to pay someone in the United States, most people in the United States don't want to get paid in crypto just because it's a hassle for them. Like if you're paying your rent in dollars, then you need money in your bank account to make the payment. So that's where I think it's like, okay, that doesn't really, I don't know. There's kind of there's friction there until like we get more people to actually use crypto as a payment network and have more money on chain. It needs that distribution effect.
I think what really needs to happen for crypto or USDC payments in the United States is that there needs to be some innovation at the banking level. And I know some people are going to laugh at me saying that because banks are notoriously slow to innovate. But what we're going to see in the next couple of years is the big banks, JP Morgan, Chase, start to integrate crypto wallets alongside bank accounts. So what does this mean? So you could get paid in USDC, and it'll go to the bank that has those wallets, and then you could do a one-to-one swap or maybe an FX swap with some sort of fee. Maybe I don't know. Some exchanges do these one-to-one with no fees, but you get that swap right into your bank account. Does that make sense? Kind of like a Circle, kind of like working with Circle, but directly in your bank.
And you think that at that point, then it would make it easier for people to like pay your rent or something in
Absolutely, because then you could just use your bank to does your renter does your landlord accept USDC? No. Okay, well I'll just swap it into USD and then pay them. And then that also covers that settlement time too, that 3 to 5 business days for ACH. Well, just pay me in Solana on my bank wallet. Here you go, and I could just swap it into USD within a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
I await that day when you can just pay rent, like just like that with crypto. Like that'd be awesome.
I think, yeah, I don't know. From my personal perspective, I think banks are some of the slowest to innovate, and I don't think that day will occur anytime soon, unfortunately, where these banks will be spinning up wallets alongside, your bank account. What I do think would happen though is like these fintech neobanks will start to do that. That will probably come sooner than actual like JP Morgan or Bank of America spinning up these wallets. Even then, though, they've been slower to innovate than what I don't know. But there's some companies that I think
as these neobanks grow, these like exchanges grow. So there's going to be some acquisitions here that'll allow those innovations.
Yeah, like with Revolut, for example, they started offering features natively to inside of your Revolut bank account to use USDC or USDT alongside the other currencies.
So we're already seeing this, just not at the US side of things. So
yeah, Revolut's been quick to innovate too, which is cool to see. But
Would
I don't
you
know. It's
classify
interesting.
Revolut as a bank or like one of those neobanks?
I would classify Revolut as probably as a neobank.
Me too.
I don't know if they hold a banking license in all of the areas that they operate in. But yeah, I don't know. Other myths too. I think like another big myth. This is something that I used to think like people would use Bitcoin to pay for things. Like use Bitcoin to pay for your rent. From what I've seen and my experience personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. People are going to want to hoard your Bitcoin, similar to like the way they hold gold or like silver or something like this, and
Yeah.
they're using it as a store of wealth. So it's not. I don't think Bitcoin is actually going to become a currency that people will use to pay for rent or coffee or food or dinner or buy a car with or something like this. It's but what I do could potentially see happening too is where you have people or maybe even governments taking fiat currencies, paper currencies, and backing them in Bitcoin, similar to like when the U.S. dollar was backed by gold, right? I do see maybe in the next few decades, potentially a country like even El Salvador. I don't know if El Salvador. No, I think El Salvador uses the U.S. dollar. But if like say for example, if El Salvador was going to issue their own fiat currency, they would probably back it in Bitcoin. So I don't know. It's become like a full circle moment, back to hard
Bitcoin's the
money.
new gold.
Yeah, I would probably, and like I think like a smart central bank, if they were to do this, would use a combination of Bitcoin along with some real gold or other commodity type of assets like this too.
El Salvador has 2 legal tenders, the US dollar and as of September 2021, Bitcoin.
Yes, but what I'm saying is like they would issue a fiat currency backed by Bitcoin.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I mean by that.
There's also the issue with Bitcoin is settlement times. On-chain settlement times are significantly longer than those of like some L2s like Solana or Polygon, which makes micro transactions not feasible with Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's a good point too that I think most people don't realize the reality of. Like with a credit card, right? When you swipe your credit card, that transaction's cleared right then and there. Whereas if with some of these currency or some of these blockchains like Bitcoin or I think Ethereum is another one where it has several
Couple minutes.
block times, and then there's I don't know, there's a few more too, right? Where it's not necessarily instantaneous like Solana or some of these other chains. So, but basically, what I'm trying to say is like it's gonna take time for that transaction to process and clear, where it doesn't necessarily make like it can't compete with a credit card.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah, you're not gonna pay with your crypto wallet and then wait 15 minutes to get your coffee. You're just not gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're going through a drive-through or something, right, and you want to buy your McDonald's,
Can
and
you
you gotta wait
imagine?
15 minutes for 8 blocks to clear on the Ethereum blockchain before you can get your Happy Meal. I mean, that's just not going to work.
Oh my
So
God, the line. I could just picture the line.
yeah,
There might be some sort of like settlement third party that would take the risk of a transaction not settling, but at the charge of like a larger fee.
yes, that's something I could see taking place.
I could see that. Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Let me see. What do we have next? So I guess we kind of already explained this, but maybe we can expand upon it. But what does the future look like for crypto payroll and stablecoin settlements? So we talked about the myths. So now that we kind of debunked those, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, one take that I have on this for sure is I think we're going to see. I mean, we're going to see an increased amount of companies paying people in stablecoins, USDC, USDT for cross-border payments, international payments. So if like you have employees outside, if you have a company in the United States and you have employees outside of the United States or contractors or something like this, more and more of these businesses are going to be using USDC or USDT to send these payments overseas to Asia or Africa, Europe, South America, whatever it may be, just because it's so efficient compared to sending an international wire or any of these other options out there that exist. So I think like I don't know, this is going to continue to grow for sure.
And then once the sentiment warms up even more because people are accepting, like individuals, employees are accepting payments in stablecoins, we might start to see more B2B supply chain payments in USDC because the settlement times are so fast and efficient. You don't have to wait days for an international wire to clear, so to speak.
Yeah.
That this is We haven't seen this too much yet, but this will take off for sure.
Yeah, no, it is happening. I think but it's going to happen at an even bigger scale, I think,
At a
over
larger
the
scale.
coming years. Yeah, more and more companies are going to be doing this as their standard way of doing business versus
Mhm.
using like JP Morgan to send like a large wire or something like that. Um,
Mhm.
and even on the flip side of that, for like individuals, I think like that have families like abroad, like for example, I don't know if you have a family in South America or something like this, these people are gonna be using USDT. I don't know, USDT is very popular in South America, for example. So they're gonna be sending USDT back home to their family, and a lot of people already are doing this compared to
Definitely.
using like I think it's like MoneyGram or something like this. I'm blanking on the
Yeah,
company
MoneyGram
name.
sounds right. Western Union,
Western Union.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So more and more, individuals, people sending money overseas back home to their families will be using USDC, USDT.
I have a lot of friends in Mexico. Well, they live here, but they have family in Mexico, and they're responsible for sending money back to their families that still live in those countries. So I think that this would definitely make it a lot easier.
Yeah, I agree.
And then also, like, there's a higher demand. I feel like the crypto community, like in Mexico and South America, also it's growing. So I just think that it would be great if more companies just adopted, especially tech companies that are outsourcing their work. It used to be like to India, and it still is, but now they're moving more towards Mexico. So I just think that that would just kind of expedite things even more when it comes to that. So
There are card companies that allow you to load crypto onto a card and you can go and pay. And these are like prominent in Latin America. I don't obviously don't live there, but I've heard a lot of good things coming out of that.
Yeah.
very nice.
Oh, I have another take too on this. I think like long term, like all right. So for example, we use QuickBooks to do our payroll, right? Um, so I'm thinking like years down the line, um, in the background, QuickBooks could just be using USDC, USDT baked directly in, and like we won't even know that QuickBooks or any of these payroll provider companies are using stablecoins to actually do the settlements. Like it's just natively baked into these applications because it's just so much more efficient. And so I think that could be happening too, like over like similar to like the way Gmail works, right? There's so many email protocols that Gmail is built on top of that we don't even understand how it works. So I think like that type of play out or the way that technology is evolved is going to be very similar to the way stablecoins work, where it's just natively baked into these payment applications.
Just the rails of just how things work.
Yes, yeah,
Yep.
all the protocols will be just built in, and it will just look like a dollar or whatever
Yeah,
currency you're
yeah.
paying in.
And you don't even have to think about it. It's
Yeah.
just the new system built in. So I believe this is the last question. How do cross-chain crypto payments work, and why does it matter for merchants?
I can answer the why it matters for merchants. I guess there's like two reasons. One of them is cost related, and then one is the actual like, does the person you're paying use the blockchain do you want? So I guess it's important to define too what a cross chain crypto payment means. So basically, there's dozens of blockchains in the crypto world, and you can have money on one chain. And it's not necessarily easy to convert it or move it to the other chain, right? Is that like a fair description, Zach, or do you want to
Correct.
add something to that? I
There's
mean,
liquidity fragmentation, right? So
yes,
money is locked up. So an analogy is kind of like we can use fiat currency, right? So you have the Chinese yuan and you have the US dollar. How do you convert between the two, right? It's not so easy, right? Someone that is in China is going to want the Chinese yuan. They might not want the US dollar.
yes, and
So
this same problem exists on the blockchain where there's dozens of blockchains, there's pockets of liquidity with different currencies and everything. So yeah, back to like why it matters for actual merchants is because if you have money on say Ethereum, but the person you want to pay only supports Solana, or I don't know, they only want Bitcoin. Now you got to figure out how to get your money from Ethereum to Solana or Bitcoin, right? And it's this conversion process that can cause that creates a lot of friction and can cause excess fees and all of this other painful stuff. So that's a big piece as well. And then like it kind of boils down to my second point, which is like the cost effectiveness. So if you actually have to move or transmit money across these different blockchains, it can become expensive depending on the way you're doing it. Um,
there are
you know,
bridges in the past like Wormhole that have had errors, bugs, so to say, and there was hacks that resulted in millions or maybe even billions of dollars lost. So
Yes.
it's really important to get cross-chain transfers done correctly. A big help in this is Circle. So Circle is the issuer of USDC, and they have something called CCTP, or cross-chain transfer protocol, where say you have USDC on Ethereum, you need to get it to Solana, you can use CCTP to burn that USDC on Ethereum and then mint that USDC onto Solana. So it's kind of like a bridge, so to speak, that is for USDC. You can just move value
Yes.
between the blockchains.
And I think, I think it's important to add too. So like in these examples of like Wormhole or any of these other traditional DeFi bridges, they have these smart contracts that you send money into, and it locks money here and then disperses money on the other chain. But the money is still like locked here, so it still exists. So it becomes a target. If you have like hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in a smart contract on chain, hackers are going to try to target that contract to exploit it. Versus kind of what Zach's describing with CCTP, what makes it so efficient is the money is not locked here, it's released. Where the money actually exists is in treasury bonds on Circle's balance sheet, which makes it very, very safe. It's like someone's going to have to break into the bank, and if everything's backed by the Federal Reserve government, come on, it's much safer from that perspective. And CCTP is also decentralized as well, so like anyone can plug and play right into this to execute these swaps and use it for transactions or moving money across chains.
Drew is exactly spot on. So that there's another thing that Drew's talked about with Wormhole, was that the funds are held, but they exist on the other chain. These usually exist in wrapped form. So that's why you see like wrapped Ethereum or wrapped Bitcoin. So if the source of the funds is targeted, what happens to the value of the wrapped coins on the other chain?
Yeah. And another important thing to add too is, so like even Circle's CCTP doesn't handle all blockchains, right? I think it's maybe a dozen, maybe a little bit more than a dozen at this time.
It's like 19 or something.
Yeah, so it's like it's the big ones, right? It's like Ethereum, the EVM blockchain, Solana, some different blockchains like this, XRP, but it's not like Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin you have a very hard time using Bitcoin talking to the rest of these blockchains. The only way to efficiently move money from, say, the Bitcoin blockchain to these other ecosystems that we're describing is going through like a centralized entity like us, or like a centralized exchange where we have like basically like liquidity reserves in dollars that we can like pull money in and out of to route it cross chain in the most efficient way possible. It really depends on what you're trying to do and the way you're trying to move the money. I mean, one of the great things about us is like we will handle all of this headache and all of this friction for you. So we use our algorithm to find the best way to route the money in real time. If we need to use CCTP, we will. If we need to go through a centralized source to get you that currency, we can do that too. And we try to make it as efficient as possible, basically.
Cool. Well, that's all the questions I have. Is there anything that y'all would like to add before we sign off?
Go check out our new rewards and promotions at adesic.com. Let us know what you guys think.
Promos.
Drop some new questions in the chat too if you have anything you'd like to ask us.
Yeah, we'll include it in the next episode.
Yeah, we're looking forward to episode 3. Thanks for tuning
2026.
In. Yeah, 2026.
Yeah.
Here we come.
Happy New Year to everyone that's watching. And then, check out the affiliate program as well. Like I said, don't just be a user, be a part of the community.
There you go.
Cool.